All right, Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl 59 set for this Sunday at the Superdome. Chris Clark and Ryan Tracy of Locked On Chiefs joining me, Louis DiBiase of Locked On Eagles. Guys, what are the keys? If there are three, and there's a lot more than three keys for a win on either side of the ball, but if there were three main things the Chiefs have to do to get the three-peat, we'll start with Chris. What are those three things Kansas City has to do?
They got to get pressure on Jalen Hurts. To me, that is probably key number one. If they can get pressure on Jalen Hurts and they can slow down the passing attack and they can make him make mistakes, that opens things up for the rest of the Chiefs defense to be able to slow things down. Number two to me, obviously, is going to be slowing down Saquon Barkley. I don't think you're going to stop him, but the Chiefs have been pretty good against the run this year. They haven't been fantastic, but they've been good enough. And that is a huge key in this game to me. And then obviously, as I've said all season, it's don't turn the ball over. Patrick Mahomes has been fantastic for the most part in the playoffs, other than that one fumble that looked more like a high school type fumble to me against the Bills than anything else. If they don't turn the ball over, this is a really hard team to beat.
Ryan, is there anything different from those three keys you think Kansas City has to add to get this win?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways to get there. First, you have to sustain your drives on offense. We're always looking for the big play. So is Pat Mahomes. But if he doesn't have it, it's got to be about ball control, making sure that you're running the offense. The RPO should be back in this game plan, and it should be something to be quick hitting. Then you have to do the obvious and not give the ball away. Patrick's been very good in particular. The team as a whole has as well about holding possession and not giving it back and making it easy for the opposition. They have to maintain that as well. And the last thing is, at the end of the day, you have to adjust. You're probably going to see something on one side of the ball or the other that you're not expecting, that you haven't game planned for. This staff in particular is very good at making adjustments. The team has grown accustomed to making adjustments, being variable. You have to ride that all the way to the end.
I think for the Eagles to get a Super Bowl win, second one in 8 seasons, and stop another dynasty from getting 3 rings. They actually did it when they beat the Patriots in 2018 because New England had one in 2016, and then I should say 2017, then they won it again in 2018. So this could be the second time they take a team down from winning 3 straight in the biggest stage. I think they're going to have to, number one, they have to be explosive and aggressive, especially in the first half. Like, you cannot play and get coach scared like they did, I think, in Super Bowl 59, or 57. The reason they won in 2017 and lost in 2022 against a great historic quarterback and head coach was the coaching wasn't in I think the game plan wasn't as aggressive, especially in the second half, as it was against New England in 2017. So I want to see them be explosive and aggressive, especially early on. Building a lead is going to be really important for this team. I think Philadelphia is a much better team that plays from the front, where they can then control. My number 2 key is control time of possession. I think those two things go hand in hand. Then you can let Saquon Barkley take over this game. The best way to stop Pat Mahomes, I think, is to keep Pat Mahomes off the football field. If you can have those, back in the December game against Pittsburgh, they have a 10-minute drive in the fourth quarter where they drove the length of the field and just ran it down the Steelers' throats. If you can get a lead, make the Chiefs play from behind, you can then pin your ears back, lean on Saquon Barkley in the offensive line. I think that's another key. And look, even if the Eagles are explosive and they get a lead in the first half, guys, that happened 2 years ago as well, and Pat Mahomes overcame a double-digit lead to eventually win that football game. So I think it's going to be close, and it's going to be down to the wire. It might come down to who has the ball last, just like it did last time. If that's the case, you have to be special and got to have it moments, especially on defense in the fourth quarter. I'm not expecting, even though the Eagles were the number 1 defense in football this year, I'm not expecting them to completely shut down Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. Nobody does. But in those got-to-have-it moments, like Super Bowl 52, the end of the game, Brandon Graham strip sacks Tom Brady. You got to make the play. The red zone stops in the first half against New England, holding them to field goals. Those crucial situations in the red zone, 3rd and 4th down, late in the fourth quarter. I just think that's so important because wouldn't you guys agree? I mean, the Chiefs are maybe I don't know if I've seen a better fourth quarter team or a team in one possession games, and the stats show that. I mean, history proves that.
No, absolutely. And I think that that's a huge key in this is that if it is a close game, Kansas City's played nothing but this entire season. And this is exactly what they're built for. They're not built to blow out teams. Andy Reid isn't built to blow out teams. He doesn't blow out teams, which is to the chagrin of both Ryan and I, who would appreciate some easier games
a lot less stressful.
Yeah. So to me, that would play into Kansas City's favor if it's a close game down late, because they know that they can do it. They've done it before, and it's nothing that they haven't done already.
Right. Is there anything like specifically they do in the fourth quarter that, because it just feels like it's always different every time against the Chiefs or against the Bills? It's stopping what normally seems like an automatic play, like QB sneaks, right? And then against Denver, it's blocking a field goal. So I'm always trying to like pinpoint what it is this team does so great in one possession games. And obviously you can point to Pat Mahomes being special and Travis Kelce, but I don't know. At the same time, it's like it always looks different, and yet they always get the job done.
It's not what they do. It's what they don't do. Because as you said, you never know where it's coming. They don't panic.
Yeah.
They don't forget that they've been here before. They don't forget that they have the ultimate faith in their quarterback. So the defense will rise up and make extreme plays when they have to, because they know if they just get it back in his hands, you have a fighting chance no matter what the score is. So it's that calm under pressure. It's the eye of the storm. It's what they don't do in panicking that gets them through most of these games.
Yeah.
As our friend Therese Paylor would say, Pat Mahomes always brings out is his over my dead body type games. That's exactly what happens. And rest in peace, Therese Paylor. But that's why they're able to do what they do.
And I think Jalen Hurts is going to have to be as special as he was in Super Bowl 57 to get the job done. It's going to be a great game. Eagles-Chiefs set this Sunday for Super Bowl 59.